Good morning, everybody. You ready for sell-off day number two? Buckle up. Pre-market trading, with the Dow down 2.3%, NASDAQ down 2.3%. This is starting to remind me a little bit of '08. Very different circumstances, but this emotional panic selling, we're about into that territory. And that's where people just say, I got to get out and I got to get into treasuries or I got to get into my money market account or what have you. So I'm going to get back to that in 1 second. Before that, I want you to think about this. Watch carefully what happens to treasuries, the 10-year. Your mortgage rates are tied to the 10-year treasury and the yields are falling, which means mortgage rates are falling. They're already coming down and that acceleration is going to continue. This is actually really good news if in any way you're tied to real estate. And in essence, we all are, especially in Atlanta and across the Sun Belt, because we're so tied. Our economy is so tied to all activities and all ancillary activities as it relates to real estate, both commercial and residential. So watch mortgage rates carefully, and then you'll see a lot of movement when it comes, especially to residential housing, where we've just had such a quagmire, bottleneck for so many years. People who are in a 3% mortgage don't want to sell because they don't want to move into a 7% mortgage. Well, those 7% mortgages, those are starting to come down, so it becomes more palatable to make a move. Watch that carefully. Now, as it relates to your stock portfolios, you are going to hear a lot of professionals on television and whatnot talk about stay the course. Okay, well, that's about a third of it. In other words, your folks have to do better than just say to you, stay the course. So what they're saying by stay the course, what they mean is don't panic sell, because then you're locking in all of your losses. And that's not a good strategy. But the real question to follow up with, if your money manager is saying to you, just stay the course, say, okay, if we stay the course, what's our plan? And trades can be made, and it then depends what do you go into. Are you rebalancing your portfolio every 30 to 120 days? What kind of, these are the questions you want to ask. What kind of downside protections are you, Mr. Wealth Manager, Miss Wealth Manager? What kind of downside protections are you putting in place? Walk me through that. Let's talk about capital gains. If you are selling, you're going to owe money, capital gain. Let's say you bought Google in 2015 and you decide now's the time to sell. I wouldn't sell today, but let's say that you are making a decision to sell some of those high flyers that have done so well for you. Well, you need to look at what your cost basis was so that you can calculate your capital gains and make sure that you don't get a big surprise tax bill at the end of the year, beginning of next year. So this is a thing you're going to want to ask your wealth professional. And the most important thing I would talk about, and a lot of people don't understand that, and that's okay, but ask questions about what investments do you have me in that are not correlated to the stock market? Private lending, real estate. There are lots of ways to make money in down markets. I mean, Jim Cramer has famously said there's always a bull market somewhere, and he is spot on about that. You can make money even when times are tough, but you need to have the right professional in your corner. Everybody was smart in 2023 and 2024, weren't they? The cocktail party, everybody was telling you how great they are and that they picked this stock and it went up, and they picked this stock and went up. Yeah, no kidding. The S&P was up 22, 23% both years. Everybody felt like they were geniuses. The real talent comes when we are in sell-offs and when markets are flat. And we may be in a period that's very uncomfortable for some time. So I'm suggesting that you have a series of questions you ask your wealth manager. If you are in pure passive investing, if you're under 40 years old, I think that may be all right because you've got plenty of time ahead of you. I would say if you're into your 50s, get some professional help. And choosing a wealth manager, I would put up there with as important as choosing a spouse. Because in the end, your money is two things. It is security and it is freedom. Your money is your security and it is your freedom. What kind of value do you put on that? I would imagine a lot. Have a fantastic day.